With over 200 Starbucks locations voting to form a union and 100 more in the process of a union vote, Starbucks corporate just lost a very important case with the National Labor Relations Board, where they have been found illegally withholding raises from union workers. So I actually did a video on this, I think a few months ago, when Howard Schultz, the CEO of Starbucks, was discussing doing this. And at the time, I pointed out this is illegal. And it appears that, yes, in fact, it is illegal. So let me show you what they've been doing. It's insane. So first, just Bernie's response here, saying enough is enough. Howard Schultz, the billionaire CEO of Starbucks, must end his war against his employees, recognize the union, and negotiate a first contract. Of course, Bernie has been the strongest voice, especially in the Senate, standing with the working class here, and has done actually several rallies this past weekend. He was in, I think, he was in Boston and Philly, standing up with organizers in both those cities. But going on here with what Starbucks has been doing. So the NLRB seeks back payments and benefits for unionized workers since May, and to require Schultz to read a statement to workers about their union rights. The board, which is tasked with enforcing labor laws that protect union rights, said Starbucks' denial of benefits and raises to union workers was intended to discourage union organizing. Because of course it was. The idea that you would deny raises and benefits to workers who are trying to organize, that's an obvious attempt to try and discourage people in your workers from organizing. And I actually love that he is being required to read a statement to workers about their union rights, because Schultz has been so vocally anti-union for so long. Just picturing him being forced to have to read union rights to his workers is something I hope is caught on camera, because I want to see that. But a little more here. So Schultz has openly refused to work in good faith with the Starbucks Workers United and largely prevented collective bargaining from happening. Of the 230 locations that have voted to unionize since December, just 3 have started contract negotiations with Starbucks. Completely insane, and goes to the point of Bernie, yelling at Howard Schultz here to recognize and negotiate first contracts. So more on what Starbucks has been doing. So in August, non-union Starbucks workers who had been employed since May 2nd saw their wages increase to $15 an hour, or by 3%, whichever was higher. Employees with benefits 2 and 5 years of experience received a raise of at least 5%, or an increase to 5% above the starting rate in their market, whichever was greater. Non-union baristas with more than 5 years of experience received a raise of at least 7%, or 10% above the starting rate in their market, whichever was greater. So just showing you, exactly what they've been doing with non-union workers and what they've been denying the unionized or the workers that have voted to unionize. Now, on the in terms of, there's been a lot of stories. If you search up Starbucks and union or the NLRB, you're going to see a lot pop up, because a lot has been going on with how they have been denying rights to their workers. But here's another example. Federal judge orders Starbucks to rehire fired union organizers in Memphis. So they have been firing people that have been trying to organize in their stores. Again, an obvious illegal behavior here that they have been caught doing and have been forced to, rectify. Last point I want to make here, because you may have noticed the NLRB, kind of good with a lot of the moves they've been making. Well, interestingly enough, you can thank Bernie Sanders, or I should say Bernie staffers. So Holly Otterbein tweeted this out back in, actually over a year ago, 2021. But this was near the beginning of Biden and his hiring with his administration. So this is Josh Orton saying that he was hired by the Department of Labor. So Holly Otterbein here of Politico saying another top Bernie staffer, Orton was Sanders' 2020 senior advisor, goes to the Department of Labor. Anna Lilia Mejia, Sanders' 2020 national political director, announced recently that she had been hired as the deputy director of the Department of Labor's Women's Bureau. So some solid Sanders voices in the Department of Labor. I'm not sure if Bernie pulled some strings to try and, maybe this is part of his, endorsement in 2020 for Biden. Who knows what went on behind the scenes? Regardless, solid hires here by the Biden administration at the beginning of his term, and may help us understand why the NLRB has been so solid throughout Biden's term. So another example here of a massive corporation getting caught, breaking workers' rights, and being forced to actually do something in response by both rehiring people who were fired and also actually offering wage increases and benefits to union employees.